Did you know that under pressure, you default to your particular culture type? You, both as an individual and you as a team. So when we look at this culture map, there are two dimensions to think about: courage and connection. So courage is, can you do hard things skillfully? Connection is, do you feel psychologically safe to take risks? So I want to kind of outline this. When you have a team that has high courage and low connection, what you have is a transactional culture. You're not afraid to do hard things, but you don't always do it so skillfully. In this case, results matter more than relationships. In this case, there's more of a make a mess part to the environment. You do name things, but it's not always the most skillful way. And what's important about what we find in top left is that toxic bad apples are allowed to hang around. Why? Because they deliver results, and short-term results are everything, right? People may not feel very good, but you get short-term results. The trap of groupthink here is that people are afraid to speak up. People within the team are afraid to speak up because they don't want to get whacked. They feel like they're going to get punished. In this case, there's high anxiety, high burnout. It's not a great place to be. When you have low courage, high connection, this is what we would call a family-based culture. In this case, it's characterized by two things. It's nice, but it's incapable or unwilling to do difficult things. So this is where you have more of an avoid culture, right? People don't name the elephant in the room. And here you have mediocre standards. And by the way, high performers despise this because people are not held accountable. In this case, there's slow decision-making. You don't move very fast through change. And the trap of groupthink here is a bit different. Here it's, I don't want to name the elephant because I don't want to upset somebody on my team. And again, slows things down. You're not very effective as a team. When you have low courage and low connection, that's a fear-based culture. And in this case, it's more command and control. It's very similar to transactional. Short-term results matter. In this case, there's low risk-taking. Again, toxic bad apples are allowed to hang around. It's not a great place to be. Finally, when you have high courage and high connection, this is what we would call a last 8% culture, right? This is where you have really two pillars of high accountability and high care. So I have high belief in my team, and I'm going to hold them accountable. I'm going to name and give them feedback, but how I'm going to do it matters. I'm going to do it skillfully with high care. They know my intention. They know why I'm giving them feedback. And one of the things that I'm lucky to do in my professional work is coach coaches. In the NBA, the NFL, Olympic coaches, the best coaches, they have real high standards for their team, but boy, they have high care. And the two together are so powerful. In this case, there's high trust. So people are not afraid to get out of the harbor and take that risk and do the difficult thing. They know where they stand. Think about the last time you were in a situation with a manager or a team and you didn't have feedback to know where you stood and you just felt more anxious. And that's not a great place to be. And so there's this balance of results and relationships, and this is where you get that innovation. You can move fast and you can really innovate in a different way. So sometimes people are not sure, what does it mean to be in the upper right-hand quadrant? So let's name that. Number one, do people name inconvenient truths? Name the elephant in the room, right? Do people admit mistakes? Again, the best leaders that we've worked with sit there and they really own. If I messed up, they own it. And it's great to be, when they have that vulnerability, all of a sudden you feel safe to admit the same mistake yourself. And this is maybe my favorite question. Do people give feedback up? Right? There's something called CEO's disease. The higher we go up in an organization, the less candid feedback we will get. And to me, because so few organizations do this, this is your lowest hanging fruit. Right? On your team, will you give feedback up? Think about how much more information you have, the whole team, the manager of that team has, to make good decisions, to innovate. And almost the most important thing I can tell you from my perspective as of being a leader of an organization, I always thought having a good culture was making people feel good. Really, making them have voice, making them feel valued. And that's part of it, but it's only half of it. Right? The other half is, can you have high standards and hold accountability for everyone, including maybe most importantly yourself? Because really at the end of the day, we're models. So as you look at this, I want you to really answer two questions. Where is your team on this map? And what's your contribution? Not others, your contribution. How can you own the culture on your team by your inputs to move it to upper right-hand quadrant, to a last 8% high-performing culture?